This content is provided for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon as legal, business, or tax advice. All opinions expressed are opinions and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of RCM Alternatives, their affiliates, or companies featured. Listeners are reminded that managed futures, commodity trading, and other alternative investments are complex and carry a risk of substantial losses. As such, they are not suitable for all investors. I'd like to answer two questions today. Why look at investing and/or trading in China? And why work with RCM if you reach that decision to invest or trade in China? Let me first start by outlining who is RCM if you already do not know. RCM is a large, independent, introducing broker founded approximately 10 years ago. Our headcount is 60-ish, mostly here in our corporate office in Chicago, although we do have some small satellite branch offices domestically. And then we also have a global footprint working with a consultant in Geneva. We have an office in Madrid, Spain, and then also in China. So RCM, in terms of our size, we're executing, clearing, giving advice, consulting, and working with clients in the billions. RCM faces off with two types of clients. We work with traders and investors. By investors, could be an ultra high net worth, a family office, a farmer, small institution, or even a financial advisor and their clients. What do I mean by trader? A CTA, a CPO, a mutual fund, proprietary traders, or even larger self-directed retail traders. So what type of services are these investors and traders looking for? What does RCM offer? Multiple execution relationships, multiple clearing relationships, a 24-hour professional trading desk. We do have a fund outsourcing platform, marketing and cap intro, a suite of execution algos, and of course, China. So what is the opportunity in China? China currently is the second largest economy on this planet behind the United States and bodes one of the largest stock market and fixed income markets and an ever expanding commodity market. With this growth trajectory, and as these markets get more westernized, a great opportunity presents itself for traders and investors alike. Let me share with you today some interesting statistics. Shenzhen, a fishing village just over 4 decades ago, is among one of the fastest growing cities in the world. There are over 10 cities in China with a population over 10 million. To put that into perspective, the approximate population in New York City is 8.5 million. Beijing is massive, massive. On a recent trip to China, I was driving, or not driving, but I was in a Didi riding between meetings. And I, with my colleagues, traveled between Ring 5 and Ring 2. We were in the car for over 2.5 hours and did not even make our way all the way across downtown Beijing. Every time I go there, and I've been there 4 times over the last 3 years, we're doing 50 plus institutional meetings. So there is a big interest from China investors and China traders. And we think this is just the beginning. Just recently, China built a hospital in Wuhan dealing with COVID in just over 10 days. The total assets under management with PFMs, private fund managers in China, last week reached 15 trillion RMB, and it's still growing. Estimates say that approximately 70 to 75% of stock and commodity market is made up of retail investors and traders. So this market is not super efficient. Year over year, the FIA puts out studies on volume rankings by exchange. 3 of the top 10 global exchanges by volume are in China. Coming in at number 3, the SHFE. Coming in at number 5, the DCE. And coming in at number 8 is the ZCE. So they're already big and they're getting bigger. Remember when trending markets existed in the US? Directional volatility was a thing when investors were intrigued by the diversification and non-correlation benefit of managed futures. It's like traveling in a time machine comparing China to the United States in the 80s and 90s. Specifically speaking, let's dive into futures. There are approximately 35 tradable commodity markets in China and 6 financial markets, 3 fixed income markets and 3 financial indices. No, I'm not talking about the 5 international markets: crude oil, iron ore, PTA, rubber, and most recently fuel oil. There's markets in China that trade nowhere else. No other exchange on the globe trades eggs, flat glass, methanol, ferrosilicon, manganese, just to name a few. What are these markets? They're deep markets. RCM has consulted and worked with sophisticated CTAs that were looking to provide market signals. And when doing their analysis to determine the capacity, they were modeling, and they would only trade markets in China that they thought they could have size in, positions of north of 4,000 contracts. And of those markets, after that analysis, they thought, and they were confident, they could trade over 30 different markets in China. So the markets are deep and they're growing. There are capital constraints. There are challenges moving money in and out of China. So you may have heard of east to west, west to east. What is that? Traders, this message is for you. What if a party could help you access mainland China money, and you could provide market signals to Chinese markets? Would you be interested in learning more? Investors, are you looking to get China exposure? We see groups set up in Hong Kong that trade equities right now through Hong Kong Connect. RCM's met with a number of these groups. We've done on-site visits in Hong Kong and China and Singapore. We've had them to Chicago. We've performed due diligence and regularly communicate with them. In fact, RCM co-hosted a virtual conference with $1 billion group out of Hong Kong a few months back. Stay tuned, there's more to come there. We see both equities and futures opening up to Western investors. Being able to access futures directly, we think that could happen. Allocating to PFMs potentially as early as 2021. RCM can help. Are you interested in learning more? A lot of you may be asking, what is RCM's role? RCM set up a consulting and technology WFOE in 2018 with shadow compliance, shadow legal, and accounting. RCM operates a 24-hour professional trading desk, and we've written to 3 APIs in China to help facilitate that execution. RCM assists with capital raising and distribution in mainland China. RCM has bilingual employees in the United States and China to assist with contracts, marketing decks, and communication. And we help with deal negotiations on both sides in the United States and China. What RCM is looking for is trusted partners with a global vision, both on the US side and the China side. So you may ask, what has RCM accomplished in the last 3 years since you established this WFOE in 2018? We have vetted and met with over 75 potential traders looking for China access, helping bring 9 strategies to market that have provided market signals through RCM's infrastructure, and we feel this is just the beginning. I personally have met with hundreds of potential distribution partners across China in Guangzhou, Shenzhen, Beijing, Shanghai, just a few of the cities that we've traveled to over the last couple years. I have spent nearly 2 months in China over the last 3 years. We have facilitated just under 300 million RMB in deal terms. RCM has provided market signals for over 200,000 trades into mainland China within that time frame. Deal negotiations right now for an additional 100 million RMB is currently underway through various AMAC PFMs and MOMs around China. So how can RCM help? Reach out for specifics, whether you are an investor or a trader. We see the expansion into other business lines. RCM is not a one-trick pony. Will east to west and west to east continue? We believe so. We are exploring ARB trades, but trading United States against China. We are exploring swaps and other vehicles for access for Western investors to trade mainland China futures, currently attempting to negotiate reasonable costs. We are exploring a commodity index in China, both trackable and tradable. Reach out by phone, email, LinkedIn, or WeChat, assuming the United States doesn't ban it. China is one of the best opportunities I feel I've seen in my near 2-decade career. Don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you.